Hello and welcome to Recyclist. It's February 23rd, 2026. I'm your host, Eric Provost, and this is your weekly roundup of all the biggest news stories from the world of waste, gas, and energy, presented by Diamond Scientific. First things first, and as always, let's take a quick look at the stock market and several stocks on the move this past week in the world of waste, gas, and energy. Going into this past weekend, GFL Environmental was sitting steady at $42.88 per share. Montauk Renewables also fairly steady, now at $1.67 per share. Casella Waste locked in at $92.72 per share going into the weekend. Waste Connections now sits at $163.76 per share. Republic Services reached $219.23 per share, and Waste Management up big this week, now at $230.63 a share. But first up in the news, we have a blockbuster story coming out of the Environmental Protection Agency that could have serious impacts on the waste and energy industries for years to come. This past week, the agency officially rescinded the 2009 government declaration, famously known as the Endangerment finding, that determined carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases were indeed a threat to both the climate and public health and welfare. This finding went on to become the linchpin and foundation for years' worth of environmental regulation and legislation. Following the rescission, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin said the endangerment finding, quote, led to trillions of dollars in regulations that strangled entire sectors of the United States economy, including the American auto industry. The Obama and Biden administrations used it to steamroll into existence a left-wing wish list of costly climate policies, electric vehicle mandates, and other requirements that assaulted consumer choice and affordability. End quote. Lee Zeldin went on to call the endangerment finding, quote, the holy grail of federal regulatory overreach, end quote. President Trump added that the rescission of the endangerment finding was, quote, the single largest deregulatory action in American history by far, end quote. And up next, we actually have a direct follow-up to that story, because days after the rescission of the endangerment finding, a coalition of health and environmental groups sued the Environmental Protection Agency over the appeal. The legal challenge, filed in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit, asserted that the EPA's rescission of the finding is unlawful. According to the case filing, clean vehicle standards imposed by the Biden administration were set to, quote, deliver the single biggest cut to U.S. carbon pollution in history, save lives, and save Americans hard-earned money on gas. Brian Link, a senior attorney at the Environmental Law and Policy Center, said, quote, the agency cannot credibly claim that the body of work is now incorrect. This reckless and legally untenable decision creates immediate uncertainty for businesses, guarantees prolonged legal battles, and undermines the stability of federal climate regulations, end quote. And up next, speaking of economic impact, according to a new study from the Renewable Energy Association, renewables are now set to overtake gas as the cheapest power source by as early as 2028. The findings, published in the Renewable Cost Analysis Report 2025, show that even after accounting for grid updates, transmission, storage, and balancing costs, scaling up renewables under a Clean Power 230 pathway delivers stronger long-term value than continued reliance on gas. The analysis concludes that from 2028 onwards, renewables become the net economic winner, even before factoring in improved energy security, reduced exposure to volatile international gas markets, cleaner air, and lower carbon emissions. Between 2024 and 2030, the Clean Power 230 pathway is also projected to create nearly 145,000 new jobs. And up next, speaking of studies, Stony Brook University recently completed their own evaluation of relative carbon intensity of different modes of transporting renewable natural gas across short, medium, and long distances. Very basically, the study finds that, quote, RNG transported by pipeline has the lowest carbon intensity over the distance range of 250 to 900 miles due to the high energy efficiency of the transmission network. And the CNG tube trailer transport exhibited the lowest static emissions of all three modes tested, making it the lowest carbon intensity option up to 250 miles, end quote. The study has been posted to the ACS Publications website for public use. And just a reminder, Recyclist is a registered trademark of Diamond Scientific, an industry leader in gas analysis, instrumentation, and solutions. Make sure to check them out online at diamondsci.com. That's diamondsci.com. You can also set up a personalized presentation just by calling 321-223-7500. Now on with the news. Anaergia, Eni, and Circular Renewable Evolution recently unveiled a brand new platform to help scale demand for an offshoot of renewable natural gas known as hydro-treated vegetable oil, or HVO. The new €50 million initiative is positioned at Eni's Gila biorefinery and includes $13 million worth of Anaergia's advanced anaerobic digestion systems with a complementary thermal treatment process to recover and regenerate degumming soil. The Gila site is meant to serve as a global demonstration facility designed to validate a replicable circular economy model for the HVO sector. The HVO market is projected to expand by over 35% by 2030. Anaergia and its partner companies are hoping to be at the forefront of that expansion. Asif An, the CEO of Anaergia, said, quote, "This collaboration underscores Anaergia's strength as a technology partner to some of the world's most forward-thinking energy companies. By transforming what was once considered waste into renewable energy and reusable material, we are enabling a scalable solution for a rapidly growing HVO market," end quote. And up next, UK-based utility company Octopus Energy says they will invest almost $1 billion in clean technology projects in California in the coming years. Among the initiatives are a solar and battery project in California, which the company expects to start operations by July 2026, and two Californian carbon removal companies, which aim to restore grassland and use reforestation to convert degraded land into carbon sinks. According to the company, these will, quote, help fast-track the decarbonization of hard-to-electrify industries, end quote. Octopus says they plan to invest $2 billion total in the U.S. energy transition by 2030. And up next, this past week, Vanguard Renewables announced the acquisition of Minnesota-based food and beverage waste recycling company Easy Recycling. The move adds deep packaging capabilities to Vanguard Renewables' growing anaerobic digestion network, enabling the transformation of food waste into renewable energy while helping customers meet compliance, reduce risk, and advance sustainability goals. Minnesota is a hub for the food and beverage manufacturing industries, supported by strong logistics and a regulatory environment focused on reducing landfill waste through organics recycling and improved package recovery. Michael Laughlin, the CEO of Vanguard, said, quote, "This acquisition represents our commitment to creating a fully integrated circular solution for food and beverage companies across the Midwest. By adding Easy Recycling into our network and combining their deep packaging expertise with our anaerobic digestion infrastructure, we're expanding the solutions available to our customers while setting a new standard for sustainability and compliance in the region," end quote. And lastly, Greenlane Renewables recently announced the achievement of a major milestone for the company, having sold over 500 biogas desulfurization and upgrading systems across 32 countries. Brad Douville, CEO of Greenlane, said of the milestone, quote, "It is a meaningful achievement for Greenlane and reflects the strength of our technology, execution, and customer relationships built over decades. Our global track record demonstrates our ability to deliver proven solutions that enable customers to capture more methane, increase RNG output, and advance their decarbonization goals," end quote. And that will do it for your February 23rd, 2026 News Roundup, brought to you by Recyclist. Once again, a registered trademark of Diamond Scientific. I've been your host, Eric Provost, and we will see you back here next week for yet another brand new episode of Recyclist. Thank you.